am a huge fan of retro Disney games and was excited to find Disney's Goof Troop sitting on a store shelf, proudly showcasing the Capcom Badge of Honor. After games like DuckTales on the NES and Aladdin on the Super Nintendo, it was hard not to get excited, but why had I never heard of Disney's Goof Troop before? Unlike most Disney games from the 90s, 1993's Goof Troop for the SNES is not a platformer, but rather a top-down action puzzle game. You take control of Goofy, or Max, from the animated cartoon and make your way through a pirate-themed island to rescue Pete and PJ. In many ways, Goof Troop reminds me of wandering through the dungeons of an action RPG. You only see one screen at a time, you can equip just 2 items, you have to collect keys to unlock doors, and there are increasingly difficult puzzles to solve as the game progresses. Disney's Aladdin, this is not, but if you're into a slower-paced thinking game, Goof Troop definitely delivers. The beginning of the adventure is rather simple, guiding you to pick up items to take down enemies. Max and Goofy never obtain any weapons and instead rely on tossing barrels and pots to take down the enemy pirates. Thankfully, you can run faster than a majority of the enemies in the game, allowing you to always have an edge against them. After coming to grips with the controls and basic mechanics, you stumble upon items. You can carry just 2 at a time, so there is some item management to consider when traversing the stages. The most versatile is the hook shot. This can be used to stun enemies, push them into the water, and grab items. Generally, it has unlimited use, though at times you'll have to use it to create a rope bridge, and it will be stuck there forever. The bell can be used to lure enemies towards you. This isn't always useful on the beginning stages, but will be required later on. An obvious use is on this screen, luring enemies into a separate area so you can collect all the treasure. A less obvious use is on this screen, where you need to guide a pirate onto a switch to unlock a gate. The candle gives you greater visibility in dark rooms, and the shovel can be used to dig. Goof Troop is crafted in a way where it is not possible to get stuck. You can never screw yourself by using the wrong item at the wrong time, and the game always provides exactly what is needed to proceed forward. Moving on, the puzzles are where Goof Troop really shines. These will be simple at first, kicking blocks into designated spots on the screen, marked with a star. Max and Goofy cannot pull blocks, only kick, so this must be kept in mind when working out a solution. Thankfully, if you mess up, you can leave the screen and re-enter, resetting the puzzle. The simple block moving gimmick is repeated throughout the entire adventure, but new twists are added to make them more challenging. Some enemies can also push blocks, ruining a potential solution. Other blocks are on a timer and will explode after a few seconds. Some of these are incredibly hard, with at least 2 of them taking me over 30 minutes to work out. I consider myself a fairly intelligent person, but Goof Troop definitely tested my mental dexterity. Other puzzles are far simpler, forcing you to spell out a word, press switches in a correct order, or rid the screen of pirates to open a locked door. Finally, Goofy can catch items. Some pirates will throw barrels at you, which you can catch if your arms are up. From here, you can throw them right back at the foe. The arm raising is much more prominent on the bosses. Here, you must catch bombs and then use them as a projectile before they explode. If your arms are not up, you take damage rather than catching the item. From start to finish, Disney's Goof Troop is an impeccably designed game. The way each room unfolds, the way the items are given in a specific order, the way a room has just enough barrels to take out the pirates is outstanding, with a near Zelda-like attention to detail. But for all the wonderful things Goof Troop does right, there are some issues. First, the game's challenge is mitigated by an overly generous amount of extra lives and continues. Red gems are extra lives, while the white gems are continues. On top of this, collecting fruit fills up a heart meter. Once you collect a 7th heart, you are rewarded with an extra life. In no time at all, you'll reach the 9 life limit. If you ever start running out, it is fairly easy to revisit areas and farm barrels for extra lives and fruit to build back up your life stock. This allows you to be sloppy at times, as there is no real punishment for subpar play. The second issue is the lack of replay value. Goof Troop has just 5 stages. While the first playthrough will take a couple of hours, the game loses a bit of its allure after you've figured everything out. Thankfully, there is a 2-player mode which does give incentive to play through again. With 2 players, you are each limited to a single item, rather than 2, which changes up the game drastically. It is fairly uncommon for a game of this time period to have a co-op mode, so it is a great addition. The other thing hurting the replay value is the presentation. While the graphics are appealing enough and do their job, the music is forgettable and repeats far too quickly. At times, I found myself actually turning the volume down as the repetition became downright annoying. It is also worth mentioning the game's designer, Shinji Mikami, would go on to create the Resident Evil and Dino Crisis titles, and later produce Devil May Cry. This is a fairly strong resume, and it is fun to revisit a creator's humble beginnings. Overall, Disney's Goof Troop is a fun, obscure action puzzler. The attention to detail is excellent, the game will make you think despite not being challenging overall, and the cooperative mode will put this over the top for many. Despite being incredibly refreshing, the game is over far too quickly. 3 out of 5.